Thank you, David. We have snow in the foothills, and that's another reminder that the 100th Grey Cup is rapidly approaching. Take Power has come to Calgary, and so has Henry Burris, returning to the city he has called home for 9 years in the Canadian Football League, along with a desperate group of Tiger Cats at McMahon to face Kevin Glenn and the Stampeders.
Started his career here back in 1998. Played 2 years for the Stamps, then went to the Saskatchewan Roughriders for 3. Back for 7 straight years with the Stampeders. This is his return. First time back in Calgary as a TiCat. Speaking of former TiCat, Kevin Glenn led the TiCats to 3 straight playoff appearances, poised to lead the Stampeders. He is 8-5 as a starter here.
There's George Cortez, a homecoming of sorts for him as well. He has got some help this week with losses by Toronto and Edmonton. And John Hufnagel got some help as well with that loss by Saskatchewan. The Stampeders, with a win, will clinch home field for the West Semi. Here's Jason Armstead with a hole. And Armstead up to the 39-yard line on the return. Kevin Glenn will go to work on offense first here at McMahon.
Calgary Stampeders, Nick Lewis, another 1,000-yard season for him. 88 catches, second in the CFL. John Cornish, of course, leads all rushers in the Canadian Football League, and there is the 11-5 career record against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That's when Kevin Glenn was either with Winnipeg or here in Calgary.
Kevin Glenn 8-5 on the year in relief of Drew Tate. And as the panel mentioned, the overshadowed guy in this quarterbacking matchup.
A couple of guys back in the lineup for the Hamilton Tiger Cats defensively. Torrey Davis goes to the interior of that defensive line. Markeith Knowlton, who's missed 11 games due to injury, back in the linebacking core, and D. Webb moves to safety for the 2nd straight game.
Our starters to watch are brought to you by Rona, proud partner of the Canadian Football League and its 8 teams. 2nd and 9, Kevin Glenn, flush from the pocket, on the move. And Kevin Glenn fumbles the football, and the Tiger Cats had a shot at it, missed it. Terrence Moore had it squirt away from him, but Hamilton indicating they've got the ball anyway.
It goes without saying that in weather conditions like this, the focus on securing the football has got to ramp up a notch for these offenses, and Kevin Glenn found out the hard way, trying to run with that ball loose and outside. Brandon Pegues is going to knock this ball out, but look how he's got it out in the one hand. He's well past the line of scrimmage now, and especially in weather conditions like this, you've got it. Ball control is going to be very important, and the run game.
So great field position start. Opening possession for Henry Burris. And he'll drop it across, and here's Bakari Grant. A first down, and he turns the corner down the sidelines, and it's a Tiger Cat touchdown. On the first play of the game, Henry Burris and Grant hook up for 52 yards, and Snow Angels in the end zone.
You know, I'm wondering if the Calgary defenders couldn't see the sideline. It doesn't look like the snow is that bad along the white stripe, that they may have thought Bakari Grant was already out of bounds when he went to turn the corner, but this is just a simple crossing route to get things started for this Hamilton offense off the turnover. Big block from one of his receiving buddies as Bakari Grant gets the edge and is gone.
Showed pretty good traction as he turned that corner. Kanji adds the extra point. And a stunning start here. A turnover and a Tiger touchdown.
Hamilton Tiger Cat
That's one.
fans.
Cara Marie, that's for you. Give me a touchdown, baby. That Kelly life, it ain't cold out here. We just getting warmed up. Let's go. Plain and simple.
Biggest play of the season for Bakari Grant, 52 yards, his 5th touchdown. Henry Burris' 36th touchdown pass. And an early lead. We'll see how Calgary responds to that. Jason Armstead with the response. Pass Kanji. Foot race time, and Armstead's going to get caught down around the 20-yard line. Chris Wapakamba saves a touchdown, but Armstead with an 83-yard return.
See the Calgary Stampeders setting up the return as their return men coming back. Watch the blockers get down and get good position as they come down and pick up their blocks. That's opening up an alley now for Jason Armstead. A nice move on the kicker, Luca Conji, to cut back against him. Doesn't even slow him down. 83-yard return, and Calgary poised to answer that touchdown from Bakari Grant.
That's the longest return in the CFL this year on a kickoff. Kevin Glenn into the plow for a big hit on R.J. Franklin. They're calling it a fumble, and there's Markeith Knowlton, who has returned to the TiCat lineup. And let's see if that will stand. A couple of Calgary plays in a row that have resulted in turnovers, and we'll find out if there's a challenge on this one.
Johnny Forzani is out of the lineup due to injury, probably gone for the season. R.J. Franklin, does he have control long enough? Looked like he took a step.
That's again the corner, Chris Rabukamba, who makes 2 big plays in a row for Hamilton.
Saved a touchdown on the kick return. That's a big hit to separate the football from the receiver.
John Hufnagel took the challenge flag out of his pocket, but has not thrown it on the turf yet, or has he? Yes, he did. He has challenged.
I think he has to take a look at this. It's
Calgary
that close.
Is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble on the play. We will review the play.
R.J. Franklin back in the lineup, injured in the Labor Day rematch, and there's a guy that the Ticats have been anxious to get back in the lineup. Markeith Knowlton back in for the first time since week 4. With him, they're 2-2. Without him, 3-8.
R.J. Franklin has this. You don't necessarily have to tuck it under your arm. I mean, receivers are taught to do that, and to secure the ball, you should do that. But that doesn't necessarily constitute possession all by itself. You can just have the ball in your hands and be running with it in your hands and have possession of it. My question is, was that step enough?
RJ, a former wideout, getting a rare start inside. There's a step. Is there even maybe another step? 1 and 2, and then the ball's out.
And ruled on the field as a catch and a fumble. So they have to see enough evidence here and determine if there's enough to overturn it. But it's a tough one. You know, I would be inclined to keep this call as is, but it's a close one.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It was a fumble. First down, Hamilton.
It was close because R.J. Franklin didn't get it under his arm right on the catch, and that's what you wonder, is that's going to constitute possession or not, as he runs with it for a step and a half with it between his hands.
What a difference a week makes. Last week, Calgary feasted on 8 Winnipeg turnovers. Here's Avon Coburn with a big run. And you wonder about the traction here in the early going. We've seen some big plays, and Coburn adds to it with a romp up to the 40 and 17.
Let's show you Bakari Grant's touchdown one more time as he comes on this crossing route from here. But I want to show you one guy that's a key in it, and that's the top, Dave Stalo, who's playing wide receiver away from the play to the wide field. As he comes across, he's going to come back and get a key block on Fred Bennett, the corner right there. And when he makes that block, that's why Bakari Grant gets the corner, and he goes in and scores.
First down, back inside. And Coburn to the 45-yard line. Our starters to watch brought to you by Rota, proud partner of the CFL and its 8 teams.
35 touchdown passes for Henry Burrs. Bit of late last few games, and Chris Williams over 13 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards receiving. He's got some weapons, Henry Burrs, in this offense.
Javon Walker has checked in and now motions out of the backfield. 6 receivers set. And the pass towards Walker, who drops the football with Duron Mayo closing in.
Both these teams trying to get used to these conditions as they settle in here. And it's all about that extra split second of focus that you got to just Make sure you concentrate on that football for one more look. This is really the first winter game in the Canadian Football League. In fact, we've got pretty good weather all year long. He just peeked down the field.
Josh Bartell with the boot, and see what Armstead does this time. Straight ahead and up to the 38-yard line. Calgary with another possession, trying to hold on to the football. Well, the Stampeders don't usually beat themselves, but they've made a couple of mistakes in the opening 4 minutes.
You know, another look at these two fumbles by Calgary. That by Kevin Glenn. This hit coming off the edge, and R.J. Franklin letting this one go. Both could happen really any time of year because of the type of fumbles they were, but forced fumbles really.
Here's John Cornish, who run for 170 yards in his first meeting against Hamilton. Nothing on his opening carry. In fact, a loss of 2 for the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League.
But having said that, Chris, that those fumbles could happen at any time. But in weather conditions like this, the ball gets a little harder and slick with the snow coming down. And while in the summer you can squeeze it with one hand and feel pretty confident that you've still got control, now you've definitely got to go back to the fundamentals. Tuck it under your arm so both ends of the football are covered.
2nd and 12 with Glenn. Takes a shot, and just out of the reach of the intended target, Maurice Price. So a 2 and out for Calgary on their 3rd possession.
The Stampeders are going to move Maurice Price around a little bit, put him outside here. Again, with the injury to Johnny Forzani, who's usually that wide side wideout, and the guy that's going deep. Forzani leads the Calgary Stampeders in those big plays. Not in the lineup here this evening.
Hey, let's go see that.
Well, let's see if Chris Williams can take advantage of the slick footing. The most dangerous punt returner doesn't get his hands on it. It's on Rhea Jones, and quickly good downfield cover by Duron Mayo. Well, there's the focus of attention, and with more, here's Jermaine Franklin.
Chris, different and weird are just a couple of the words that Henry Burris used to describe his first visit here at McMahon Stadium since being traded in the offseason. Burris told me that when he first arrived yesterday, he wanted to go a straight beeline to his locker room because he didn't want to bump into old friends or teammates. He simply wanted to prove that it's an all-business trip as the TiCats are fighting for the playoff lives.
Said he got too emotional in the first meeting. And Ivor Wynn trying to stay a little more focused in this critical game for the TiCats. Another good run by Avon Coburn into Calgary territory. Just 9 rushes for the TiCats last week in their loss against BC.
He has to feel real comfortable here. I mean, holds all the Stamps records, basically all the big records a quarterback can hold, including passing yards, touchdown passes, 203. And let's not forget the magical 2008 season for Henry Burris as he led the Stamps to a championship. John Hufnagel's first season here in Calgary.
8 to Coburn, 2nd and 2. Double tight ends, and Coburn gets the ball again off the right side. And breaks the tackle to fall forward and should have the first down.
It was that kind of season for the Calgary Stampeders. Grey Cup played in Montreal, and the opponent was the Alouettes. Home game for them. Henry Burris led the Calgary Stampeders to a championship. And got a nice, respectful, warm welcome here when he arrived in McMahon Stadium.
Kip Murphy does signal first down. That was the year he had a career-high 39 touchdowns, and already today a touchdown pass to Bakari Grant, which gives him 36 on the season. The highest scoring team in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah. Well, you know, the panel had a good discussion about it. Chuck Climby and Matt Dunnigan talking about his play this year and where they are record-wise.
At the 47, fake to Coburn. There's Grant. Open space again. And Bakari Grant cruising down to the 25-yard line.
But it was interesting discussion, and I'm really with Matt Dunnigan on it. I'm not sure there's more than Henry Burris could do in this season. I know the Hamilton Tiger Cats have struggled. Their record with just 5 wins. They still have a chance, as Dave Randorf mentioned, to control their playoff destiny here. And they're moving the football again. Bakari Grant with another big catch. But I agree with Matt. Henry Burris has done his part. The defense has got to play better.
First down, Calgary 25-yard line. Pressure, and they get to the quarterback. Toss back. Keon Raymond on the blitz from his Sam linebacker spot.
Yeah, second game for Keon Raymond playing Sam linebacker. And is there a position on defense or maybe even on offense that he hasn't played? I mean, I think the only one is quarterback that's left for Keon Raymond, because no matter where the Calgary Stampeders put him, he plays well. And that's free off the edge, not picked up in the blitz. And Keon Raymond, just his second game at linebacker this year, comes up with a big play.
Did not sack Burris in the first meeting. Loss of 8, second 18. Drops it off. Coburn's got some blocking. And Avon Coburn is dropped down around the 20-yard line, short of the first down. And Luca Conji and the field goal team will come on.
Avon Coburn, you mentioned just 9 carries last week. And I think in conditions like this, both he and John Cornish, maybe a little bit of Siobhan Walker, will be very important as this game goes on, and control the ball, get some first downs along the ground, pound it along the ground in weather conditions like this. Wear down the defense.
Luca Conji had his consecutive field goal streak and a 24 last week on a missed 51-yarder. No mistake here, and the TiCats lead by 10.
For right after the game, I see.
Getting flashbacks to the '94 Western Final, one of the more memorable games in CFL postseason history.
It's perfect. I mean, that shot right there of Jason Armstead is that tells you one thing. Playoff football is right around the corner.
Conji sends it downfield. Armstead's been dangerous so far. The most dangerous Stamp. Finds a little room outside and then gets bumped out at the Calgary bench. So back to work goes John Cornish.
Trying to get his helmet.
Yep,
got to go get his helmet, get the hat. This is what he's chasing Normie Kwong, who in 1956 had 1437. And John Cornish, 162 coming into this game this afternoon. He has not got a yard rushing on 2 carries so far in this one.
Stamps had 2 fumbles and a 2-and-out in their first 3 possessions. Fake to Cornish, and there's Jabari Arthur. And he puts his head down and tries for the initial first down of the game for the Stampeders.
This is a Nick Lewis, Jabari Arthur type of a weather condition game. I mean, this is the big tight ends, the running game. Nick Lewis out there trying to get a block for Jabari Arthur, get him outside, big body, just lower your shoulder and go get some hard yards. Dave Dickinson is a big reason why Kevin Glenn's having maybe his best season as a pro and poised to lead the Calgary Stampeders to the playoffs.
That's Jabari Arthur's first catch since mid-July. Injury-plagued season and career. Inside corners, nothing doing. What a collision that was. I'll tell you, finally dropped.
That last game that these two teams played out in Hamilton, and John Cornish had 170 yards rushing in that one. Hamilton took note. Hamilton's watched that game tape. And let's take a look how much Markeith Knowlton is helping this linebacking core as he slides with Ray Williams. Really D-line play stopping this run right before it got started.
Torrey Davis, the former Stampeder, was waiting for him. Cleaned up by Terrence Moore, but the monster is back, and that should make a big difference. Markeith Knowlton, no Jamal Johnson though. And that pass sails high over the head of the intended target, Maurice Price. And again, the kick team for Calgary has to come on.
Markeith Knowlton, the team was 500, a couple of wins, a couple of losses when he was in the lineup, had 19 tackles in the first 4 games, then missed 11 due to injury. But, you know, maybe when you look at that linebacking core, when they're healthy with Ray Williams, Markeith Knowlton, and Jamal Johnson, it's a pretty good group. A very good group, as a matter of fact, and that's probably the best of them, and they haven't had his services pretty much all season.
Hey, coach, that was a lot.
Rob Maber to kick. And it is Chris Williams this time. Flag down. Can't get outside. And is dropped at the 30-yard line.
Here we go.
We'll see if that's the 15-yard no yards. Of course, Henry Burris traded in the offseason for Kevin Glenn and Mark DeWitt.
No yards. Calgary, number 32. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
And after 7 years in Calgary, he knew his time here was done.
I still feel I'm one of the best quarterbacks in this game, and I'm out to be the best. And you know, for somebody to tell me to take a step back, that's not even applicable. That option was definitely not available, and so for me, it was time to move on because hey, you know, Drew was the guy here. He was the guy they were grooming for the future. They signed him to a new deal, and it was what it was. But the thing is, one man's loss is another man's treasure.
So the trade request was made, and George Cortez now has Henry Burris at his disposal.
And Kevin Glenn was supposed to be the insurance policy in that trade for the Calgary Stampeders, with Drew Tate taking over for Henry Burris at the end of last year, but Tate was hurt in game 2.
Second down, running out of time, and dropped for the second time in this game. And that's DeMonte Bolden, the former TiCat, celebrating. Well, there's been a lot of movement between these two teams, and a former Cat gets to celebrate.
Henry Burris says his pocket is going to collapse around him here. He's going to be in trouble because he doesn't have really a release valve receiver, a guy he can dump it off to. They're going to try and block this up. The crossers get caught in the middle, and then stop it there, guys. Now he's only got 3 guys deep.
Well, problem with Josh Bartell on the snap, but he did get the kick away, and it's returned to the 35-yard line by Armstead.
Show you again one more time on that deep one. I'm going to show you when the crossers don't get cleared. These 2 crossers have got to get through quicker. If they do, Burris has got a place to go with the football. Now they get caught up here. Stop it there. Now right in the middle here, they're stuck. The other 3 guys are all deep, and there's no way Burris can launch it deep with that pocket collapsing around him and a guy in his face. So the crossers don't get across the field quick enough, and sack results.
Here's Glenn with the fake, dumps it off, and Rob Cote is dropped across the 40-yard line. The Calgary fullback with his 14th catch of the year and a pickup of 7. And you mentioned Arthur and Lewis.
Yeah,
it's a fullback day too, isn't it?
It really is. It's that kind of day where the offensive line, and look at how many guys have sleeves on. None of the offensive line. Nick Lewis, he doesn't have sleeves.
2nd and 3, Cornish straight ahead for the first down. John Cornish with Normie Kwong in his sights. And so a couple of first downs in this opening quarter so far for the Stampeders, who got off to such a hot start last week. They played pitch and catch early against Winnipeg. 16 first quarter points.
Yeah, 425 net yards in that game. Of course, different conditions.
And Lewis wide open into TiCat territory and ushered out at the 50-yard line by Ricardo Coakley.
9th consecutive year for Nick Lewis, over 1,000 yards, and this is his type of game. Big physical receiver that you can give the ball in space, and then he will just lower his shoulders, and it's the type of game I know he loves playing it.
89th catch of the year. His career best 93. So we might see that today. Cornish takes the toss. He gets tossed down. Was there a little confusion there, or was that part of the design of the play?
Well, they got to it. There was some pulling linemen coming out and around the corner. John Gott was one of them. And as they pulled out, they were just trying to casually line up, maybe not give anything away. They got him to the wrong side and then tried to pitch him. You're right, it was a bust. And that's why the Hamilton TiCats able to close quickly on it.
Greg Peach with the tackle. And it's 2nd and 9. Kevin Glenn over the middle. And the catch is made. Nick Lewis with the catch, and find out if it's enough for a first down. It would be yet another 2nd down conversion catch for the leader. It is. And for Lewis, that's the 30th time this year. A 2nd down catch to move the chains.
Left of your screen, inside on Markeith Knowlton, beats the jam there, and then he sees Ray Williams sitting in the middle, so he doesn't sit down there, continues through the zone, and Kevin Glenn sees it perfectly to move the sticks and keep this drive alive.
Nick mentioned this week that he only once been a player of the week in his 9-year career.
That's mind-boggling.
I didn't believe it. We checked it. He's right just once. Only by Mitchell drops the ball. Who's on it? TiCats indicating they've got their 3rd fumble recovery of this first quarter. And it's Kevin Ivan up with the football.
Take a look again. Bo Levi Mitchell in the game, steps up. He has it in the outside hand. From behind, it is stripped. Was it Greg Peach? I think it was with the strip. Markeith Knowlton ends up with the football. And the Hamilton TiCats get yet another turnover.
Peach and Boudreau there converging on Mitchell. Calgary -3 in this first quarter. Final play first quarter. And a catch for Chris Williams. So a lot going right for a team that's had a lot of adversity this year. TiCats by 10. There are the numbers after the opening 15 minutes, and they're tilted TiCat way.
They are. The Calgary Stampeders have the edge in time of possession, but the 3 turnovers have been the story in the first quarter. Calgary's got to figure out a way to hang on to the football. And the Hamilton TiCats capitalize on that first one, Bakari Grant, with the points off turnovers.
I'm not totally surprised because we've been expecting the TiCats to play with some desperation and urgency for a few weeks. They haven't in the last couple of weeks, certainly doing it here.
Well, they are, and the thing that I've noticed too, Chris, is that run defense has really stepped up for the Hamilton TiCats. I mean, their defense is playing as well in that first quarter as I've seen them over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
So we start the second quarter. First down and a shot down the sidelines, and it's picked off. Darius Brooks, the corner, brings it down in coverage against Chris Williams. So the Stampeders get one back.
First play as the teams change ends, that Henry Burris turns around, tries to get Chris Williams. He's in behind coverage. I'm not sure Henry Burris has gauged that wind at all. He's now going into it. And that ball hung up there for Darius Brooks, who times his jump perfect.
Second interception for Brooks. He had one last week. 3 of the 4 second-half interceptions by Calgary in the end zone against Winnipeg. Here's Cote out of the backfield, and he's cut down. Good defensive play there by Coakley.
You could see here that Cote had to really secure the ball, take an extra second with it. Then by the time he turns around, Coakley's got a nice angle on him. Upfield shoulder, nice and low, and drive through those legs.
Doesn't look like a defense that's rigged. Last in just about every category. Second down and a pass inside for Arthur. He's got the catch, but he's going to be a couple of yards short of the first down, and the punt team has to come on.
Yeah, it is a couple, and John Hufnagel didn't hesitate. The punt team is on its way out there. And that's been, for me, watching this Hamilton Tiger-Cat team over the last couple of weeks. Their play on defense has been the greatest improvement so far tonight. 5 punt return touchdowns for that man on the season.
Conditions not perfect, but maybe for a return man like Chris Williams they are.
Yeah, he knows where he's going.
Has to backpedal on this boot by Neighbor. Looking for a crease and ran out of room on that far side of the field. Ticat football with the lead early second quarter at McMahon. Now that's better. First and 10, Tiger Cats. Ball on their own 34-yard line as the yard lines start to disappear in the snow. And the catch is made by Dave Stalla.
The challenge for the Hamilton Tiger Cats right now offensively is to try and call some plays that'll help a real young offensive line. Take a look at this group. Rookies across the board other than Tim O'Neill and Brian Simmons in just his second year. So they're going to have to lean on the veteran Tim O'Neill at center. But you can play call around this a little bit if you're George Cortez and get the ball out of Henry Burris' hands quickly, go to the run and let him run block a little.
O'Neill, a former Stamper, was a questionable starter for this game. He's been piercing a hamstring. Burris trouble with that shotgun snap, but gets away and it opens up. And Henry Burris will get taken out at the 50-yard line, but has a first down.
And the other thing, I agree with the panel. I talked before the game about how motivated Henry Burris will be in this one, and that he'd like to show John Hufnagel that he made a mistake and that he has a lot of good years left in him, and it's this type of effort that's going to show that if he can get the win here this evening.
Who does he think he is? Anthony Calvillo?
Exactly.
How about that today?
A couple of runs.
A couple of touchdown runs for AC. This year behind Lule and Durant, and here's Chris Williams getting away and scooting out of bounds. Another first down.
And Dave Stalla must be watching a little Nick Lewis film. That's the second time he has helped a receiver, a partner, come out with a nice block as they bring, like the BC Lions did last night. We see a lot of that from the Lions offense with receivers coming out. Watch Stalla come back and help out his receiver, his buddy Chris Williams, get the corner. Second big block like that. One, Bakari Grant went for a touchdown.
So the Ticats moving the football again. Down to the 45-yard line, into the hands of Coburn. Trying to kick it outside, and does. And steps out at around the 39-yard line. 6 more for Avon Coburn, who leads the league among running backs in yards per game.
You know, he does, and he's productive, and he's consistent, and he's solid, and he's been that for George Cortez. You know, I in some ways feel for Siobhan Walker, who started the season gangbusters. I mean, his first game against Saskatchewan had 132 yards rushing. Big game against BC in week 2 receiving. Got nicked, Coburn comes in, and hasn't really got back on the field.
Second and 4. Burris stands in. He's got an open man over the middle. Dave Stalla brought down by Eric Fraser, but it's been a good first half for number 88, who wants to be a bigger part of this Ticat offense.
Often when the middle is that wide open, that means that the blitz was coming and picked up nicely. That's the other thing that Coburn does well, is he knows when to stay in and block and when to leave. When he exited the backfield there, he was covered by a linebacker, and that's why the middle was open for Dave Stalla.
Stalla now 71 yards away from 5,000 in his CFL career. There's Burris running out of time, and for the third time today, he is sacked, and Charleston Hughes, there is a flag down. So let's hold on. It is holding, so Either the sack or the penalty will go against the TiCats. And for Charleston Hughes, 9th sack of the year.
Holding Hamilton, number 57. The penalty is declined. It will be 2nd down.
And next year in our rankings, I guarantee you this man will not be number 51. He's going to be a lot higher up the list, and you're looking at the nominee for the Calgary Stampeders for Outstanding Defensive Player. It's got to be.
And at the other DN spot, Stevie Baggs is checked in, 2nd and 16. Former TiCat now in the lineup for Calgary. That pass is intercepted. Off the tip, Keon Raymond's got it, and he could run away.
That road.
Keon Raymond not going to get caught unless Chris Williams does. Siobhan Walker tried. It's a touchdown. He outran the ball. Unofficially a 100-yard interception return for Keon Raymond.
Rick Campbell just may leave Keon Raymond at Sam linebacker, the strong side linebacker, because this is his 2nd game there, and he just keeps making plays. Been in the backfield, has a sack, helped out in the Charleston Hughes sack. Now this interception. Now there's only O-lineman trying to catch him until Siobhan Walker shows up, and he covered a lot of ground, but just couldn't get there in the last 5 yards. Keon Raymond. Interception for a touchdown.
5th interception of the year for the veteran Raymond. And that changes things in a hurry. Well, this was the last game of Russ Jackson's illustrious career, determined to beat Saskatchewan in what was destined to be one of the great games in CFL history, against a complicated backdrop of political unrest during the Quebec FLQ conflict in 1969. The 4th dock in the Engraved on a Nation series, playing a dangerous game, premieres Friday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. 5th touchdown of Keon Raymond's career as a defender, and it's a big one here in the 2nd quarter.
That's a good tag for Keon Raymond. He's a defender. I mean, we call him halfbacks and corners and safeties and linebackers. He's a defender. That's what he is, and was right there for the tip from Quincy Butler. But Samuel Giguere can help his quarterback by coming back to the football a step. The footing may have been a factor here, but what a run from Keon Raymond. Bounced outside, had some offensive linemen to run by, and getting a little bit of O2 down there on the sidelines. He tries to catch his breath because he's got to go right back out after this kickoff.
There it is, sends it downfield. Here's Andrea Jones with a return. And he breaks through. And Andrea Jones, as the yard lights start to disappear, I think about past the 45.
A little harder with this footing, but I want to show you Giguere down here now. As he runs this in route, he can come back a little bit and maybe avoid this tip from Quincy Butler. As he comes in here now, stop it there, guys. See, if he comes through there and comes back towards Henry Burris between the two, Quincy Butler and Keon Raymond, he was going to come back to the football, gets a chance. Quincy Butler tips it up, Raymond takes it, and goodbye.
15th interception charged against Burris this season. Here's Coburn getting to the corner and turns it into Calgary territory, and a 1st down run for Avon Coburn.
So I'm going to ask you, here's a question for you. Avon Coburn is Mr. Consistency and has been since he's come back. And Siobhan Walker has that big play ability, a guy that can in one play take it to the house with his great speed. Would you rather have consistency, or would you rather have big play potential?
I don't mind having both.
Well, they have both on the roster. The problem is, it's how do you get the football to both?
You know, we just came from BC, a team that leads in most offensive categories except big plays.
Yeah.
In fact, they have the fewest big plays.
You can win without them, but you know, if you're, I guess it can also depend on where you are in the game. If you're back, maybe you want a big play guy. If you're ahead, you want the consistency.
Well, they go straight ahead to Avon, and he crashes down to the 50-yard line of the Stampeders, pickup of 3.
When you compare the two, though, it's remarkable. This guy's got great breakaway speed. His longest run, 89 yards. His longest catch against the BC Lions in week 2, 95 yards. And look at Avon on the other side. He doesn't have those big gains, that big play potential, but the consistency factor for Avon is 88.6, and Siobhan Walker's average keeps dropping. Doesn't get a lot of touches of late.
8 games that for Coburn is second in a row. 2nd and 7 more. Brian Bulkey will toss down Burleson. That defensive line of Calgary feasting against the young offensive lineman. 4 sacks in this first half.
Yeah, well, we showed you that graphic. This is a rookie bunch up front, and Chris Schultz before the game, he said, good luck to these guys. That's what he said. He said, these are all young guys. He said, good luck, because this is a pretty good pass rush from the Calgary Stampeders. But George Cortez got to start helping them with some play calling that gets the ball out of Henry Burris' hands a little quicker than that 7-step drop.
2nd sack by Bulkey on the year. This one bouncing down, and it just reaches the goal line, and they'll concede the single point on the boot by Bartell that makes it 11-7. Well, these are games that are fun to watch from the comfort of your living room. What's it like on the sidelines, Jermaine?
Well, actually, Chris, I talked to Stamps equipment manager George Hopkins, and he told me it actually looks worse than it really is for the players. Footwear does not get changed unless it's 10 below, and of course we're well above that, so there shouldn't be any problems with traction. Also, when it comes to the players, he purposely did not give them equipment or winter clothing to wear unless they asked for it. When they did ask for it, he educated, make sure the players did not wear too much, and now they're just wearing the right amount, and it's really just up to the players to get used to the snow conditions.
Tough on our cameraman, too. That's Bruce up there in the snow.
Drop underneath. Here's John Cornish. And he's got a lot of room to roll. Downfield and just pushed off. Balance and out of bounds as D. Webb, the safety, finally put a halt to that big play. And it looks like he got it inside the 30. Again, tough to read the yard markers here, but that's a 49-yard play.
Stop it here, guys, just for a second. Ray Williams has gone on a trail on a double team and has vacated the middle. That's why John Cornish is so wide open underneath. No middle linebacker there to make the tackle. Then he's one-on-one with Ricardo Coakley in the open field, who thought he was going to get blocked. Probably wondering where Nick Lewis was as he scanned the field trying to make a tackle.
So they've got it down to the 27. Here's Robbie Bryant with a fly sweep. And Bryant pushed out by the corner. Another punishing block.
Oh, it was. Jabari Arthur right at the mesh point. He just launches Greg Peach, I believe, turns around the tight end and steps into him. Here he comes down here, and watch Peach here. And as Robbie Bryant comes outside, now hold it. Here he comes. Right here, bam. Watch this.
Greg Peach got run over in the first meeting by Nick Lewis. Cornish.
You know, when this happens, Greg Peach has got to be looking. He's got to have a head on a swivel. Last time these two teams played, he got hit like this from, guess who? Nick Lewis. And now you got to, as a defensive end, you got to get your head on a swivel. Know where that slot back is, know where the tight end is, come cracking down. And what he's wanting is a call from the defensive back that happens to be covering one of those guys. It's called crack, 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 crack. He yell it as he's coming down. If back in the old days, Chris, if Bobby Jurison didn't get a crack call, you were in trouble after the game was over. Those defensive ends, they want to hear that there's a guy coming down in their ear hole. That was another big one. way you can beat it also is to get upfield a little bit further. Hanging on the line of scrimmage puts a target right on you. Those are tough ones to take.
Saw that measurement, just under a yard away from a first down. So a third down play for the Stampeders is Bo Levi Mitchell, who has fumbled in this first half. Checks back in with the short yardage crew. We'll push ahead. Not a whole lot, but a flag down. John Gott back at center. Abi Khan has moved to left guard.
Another flag. I think Markeith Knowlton's going to get a flag for that. He just threw the football and hit a Stampeder in the head with it. It was just a little subtle toss.
Offside. Hamilton, number 25. Objection of conduct. Hamilton. First down, Calgary.
So Knowlton draws a couple of penalties. And they'll march it down to first and goal territory for the Stampeders.
Right at the top of the line there, he looks like he's okay as far as the offside, although it's probably even tough for the officials right now to see that. But at the end of it, he ends up grabbing the football here. And watch, he's going to grab it, and then he grabs it after that. He tosses it and hits somebody in the head with it right. Well, it happened right after that.
There's a pass for Cornish, touchdown! First lead of the game for the Stampeders as John Cornish has his 12th touchdown of the year.
It's a nice adjustment by Dave Dickinson here to get John Cornish involved in the passing game, because he has noticed that the linebackers for Hamilton are vacating. They're starting to look up receivers, and no one is checking down on John Cornish coming out of the backfield.
5 plays, 75 yards. The touchdown drive for Calgary. Extra point is good. First lead of the day for the Stampeders that have dug themselves out of a snowy 10-0 hole.
Well, and those turnovers early, and then when Keon Raymond took it to the house, boy, this game just completely changed. And again, Dave Dickinson with an adjustment here offensively. We didn't see this in the first quarter from John Cornish. And there he is there in that familiar shotgun formation. Little play action, that freezes Peach. Now he's out in the backfield. But where is the linebacker coming to cover him? Both linebackers, Ray Williams and Markeith Knowlton, were going to the other side of the formation. That's not Jeff Tisdale's job. Now watch how right here, Ray Williams, and there's Kevin Ivan. One of them is responsible for John Cornish out of the backfield. Ivan fills the hole, he gets blocked. Ray Williams looks like he's looking up over here, and Cornish is able to sneak out. That's a bust in the linebacking core.
Stop on the ground, go through the air, come into position.
Might be a different kind of day for John Cornish. Have to lean on him as a receiver more.
An Andrew Harris type day, maybe.
Yes.
4 yards.
2 Canadian 1,000-yard rushers. Congratulations to Andrew Harris last night. John Cornish coming into this game just 166 yards in that yard from scrimmage race behind Andrew Harris.
Andrea Jones with another return. Again, hard to see exactly where they are on the field. It's like he got across the 40. But we'll have to get a Zamboni out at halftime.
70% completion percentage for Henry Burris. The 2 interceptions, obviously one going for a touchdown. Difference maker so far. Kari Grant with the touchdown catch.
They tell us the ball's on the 37. We'll take their word for it. To the hands of Coburn, trying to get to the outside. And unable to turn it upfield. Charleston Hughes is there, and so is DeMonte Bolden.
Since the end of August, in a game against Saskatchewan where Charleston Hughes had 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception, he has been on fire with 6 sacks, 27 tackles, 4 forced fumbles. There's his totals. I mean, Keon Raymond maybe including himself in the discussion here, but there's your Calgary Stampeder nominee.
Well, they tell us the ball was on the 42. It's second down, and Coburn's going to get wrapped up and tossed down. Malik Jackson, very quietly, has had a solid year at the will linebacker spot for the Stampeders. It's a 2-and-out for Hamilton.
Well, we showed you when Ray Williams and Kevin Iman got in trouble down in the end zone trying to cover a back out of the backfield. Well, here, watch Malik Jackson do it properly. He shadows him, doesn't get leveraged, cuts in behind the block of the offensive line, and he's right there to make the tackle immediately.
Armstead's got a backpedal here, back inside his 15-yard line. And a flag flies as Armstead's brought down at the 20. 52-yard boot by Josh Bartell. And the indication, the penalty against Calgary. High percentage first half for Kevin Glenn, and I guess for the quarterbacks in these conditions, they've been throwing a lot underneath.
Well, yeah, a lot of that.
On the return, illegal block. Calgary number 42. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Duron Mayo.
Backs out of the backfield. John Cornish involved there. A little bit of Jabari Arthur from the tight end spot. We've seen Nick Lewis on those quick crossing routes. That's the type of passing game you want in conditions like this, but I like the adjustment. Dave Dickinson noticed, obviously, that the linebackers were leaving. They were going to help on receivers, leaving Cornish uncovered.
And off, and again, Cornish is stuck. What a difference for the first meeting, when Kevin Glenn had only 141 yards passing against Hamilton, but they racked up 233 rushing yards.
So Casey Crehan, now the defensive coordinator, Chris, he's got to now make the adjustment, and he looks like he's desperately trying to get the attention of Ray Williams here to make the call. Because this is the down, second down and long, where Cornish has come out of the backfield and hurt this defense in the second quarter.
A big play here at the Calgary 2nd and 11 from his goal line. That pass incomplete.
Greg
Intended for Cornish.
Greg Peach just took him. And I don't think it was even his man. Because again, before the snap of the ball, Ray Williams had turned and looked like he wasn't sure. Casey Crehan, you saw him trying to get their attention, but watch, stop it here for a sec. Greg Peach gets thrown down, and now he's going to see Cornish sneak out, and he's just going to come underneath and cover him, try and take him. He's the guy that's right there.
So the Stamps go 2-and-out for the third time in this first half. And somewhere around midfield, actually on the Calgary side of midfield, Chris Williams awaits. Will Maver punt or take a knee? He'll give up 2. And now it's a 1-point game. 14-13. Calgary leads. As it's set to kick off, and Andrea Jones, Siobhan Walker awaits.
Why has he got another ball?
Walker following Andrea Jones, and up around midfield to give Henry Burris good field position with just under 3 minutes remaining in this first half.
Siobhan Walker's going to stay after that return out there offensively. mentioned he's not getting a lot of touches of late with the play of Avon Coburn, but a rare series where he's in the backfield. Both of them are.
Both running backs in the lineup, and it will be Walker to try the right side. Gets a block. And unable to turn it upfield. Andy Fantus without a catch so far in this first half.
Yeah, he's been quiet. I haven't taken a look to see if Andy Fantus has been open and just not seeing the football. Again, it'll probably likely have to be the quick game, intermediate at best. And in order to go deep, you're going to need, first of all, better conditions. Second of all, more time.
5 touchdowns the last 5 games for Fantus. 6. Over the middle, and a great defensive play that is by Darius Brooks. A little slow to get up, but he stayed with Chris Williams. And Brooks, after making the play, stays down. Brooks with an interception in this first half, and they'll check the knee as Pat Clayton comes out.
Show you this play. Watch Avon Coburn come out and help Mark Dial here with a little chip off the edge, and then that's going to give Henry Burris just a little more time. This, again, play calling that helps out a young offensive line. There's the chip, and here comes the crosser to Chris Williams. Darius Brooks, I'm not sure, I think he just his knee twisted underneath him.
He'll hobble off, and it'll mean another tweak to the secondary of the Stampeders if he can't return.
But a big tackle. He was one-on-one, one of the toughest guys to corral in the league, and Chris Williams on a crossing route got him to the ground.
So Bartell on 3rd down into punt. Armstead back around his 15-yard line. If the Aussies punted or kicked in any conditions like this before. As Armstead steps out. Just over 2 minutes left, and it's GMC Live at the half. We'll check in with Dave Jock, Patty, and Schultze and get their take on this first half of snowy football. One palm tree in the foothills.
It's mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. It reminds me of those Boxing Day games with your buddies, right? Right after Christmas, everyone just meets up in the park. Snow coming down.
Wanted to play these games. Kevin Glenn downfield. Jump ball, and it's knocked down. Chris Wabakamba. Step for step with Maurice Price, who thought he'd been interfered with.
Chris Wabakamba wanted to try and get his head around. It looked like he did. I think Price is asking and wondering if this should have been a screening call. And whether or not he turns to look at the football at all, or is he just screening the receiver? Doesn't get his hands in his face. He does turn. I think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
TiCat field corner playing with a heavy heart. His mother passed away a few weeks ago, suddenly a brain aneurysm. Family from Rwanda. He's had a good first half. That one got in, and it is intercepted. Armando Murillo comes up with it. And the TiCats have another takeaway in this first half. And that's the 4th giveaway by the Calgary offense in the first half of play. Second interception of the season for Murillo.
Well, Kevin Glenn steps up in this pocket and has a real big throwing lane and good sight lines. I mean, look at him. He steps up, no one in front of him, and just overthrows his target, R.J. Franklin.
So the TiCats will take over at the Calgary 25-yard line. Trying to reclaim the lead before the half is done. Williams flies sweep right into traffic. Charleston Hughes was waiting and cut him off at the pass.
This is film work. Charleston Hughes is a great athlete, and that's why he's putting up the numbers he is. But this happens, guys, because he has seen this play before. He's not going after the quarterback here. He sees the formation, he reads it, steps up, plays the play, and is right in the backfield with Chris Williams. That's because he studied his opponent.
Loss of 5, second and 15. Short drop, Burris in trouble, and down again the 5th time. He was in the neighborhood. Brian Bulkey is there, and here's the celebration dance from Charleston Hughes. 10 sacks on the year.
Not many steamboats for Henry Burris. Let's count. I mean, he gets the football here. Charleston Hughes off the edge on the top. Brian Bulkey underneath. A Burris sandwich. Ryan Simmons caught in there as well. But Henry Burris didn't even set up.
That's a test now for Luca Conji. 42 yards out. 10 for 11 for outside the 40 this year. And with slippery conditions, he pushes it to the right side. And out comes Armstead. And Armstead angled out as Conji misses for only the 4th time this season.
That's a tough kick to make here tonight. I mean, I'm not even sure. I know the kicker will be consulted by the head coach, and you can, what do you think? Can you make it? Do you feel good from there? And I'm sure Luca Conji wanted to give it a shot, but that almost impossible. You mentioned his percentage, though. Both these kickers in this game, off the hook good, over 90% on the season.
Well, there they are. Conji just sliding under 90 now. Only 3 in CFL history have finished this season over 90%. Paul McCallum, Louis Pasaglia. And your old kicker, Dave Ridgway, must have been the holds.
That's a guess?
But isn't that managing the game a little bit? You get the ball on the 25-yard line, you're in field goal range, and they take back-to-back losses.
Yeah, again, there's a couple ways that this protection issue is going to be something that George Cortez is going to have to talk with his staff and with Henry Burris with at halftime about, you know, how you can get around having a real young O-line that's really challenged right now, trying to contain Charleston Hughes and Brian Bulkey, 2 of the guys that have been getting up the field more than any. And you can move the target, you move the launch points for Henry Burris, get him on the run a little bit, get him on the roll. That can help. Screen draw, run the ball up the middle, try and pound it on the run game a little bit more and attack Charleston Hughes rather than sit back and try and pass block him. Those are a couple of ways. We'll see what they do.
Second down play here, and the TiCats using their timeout, hoping for a quick stop and get the ball back in decent field position before this first half's done.
Procedure, Calgary, number 64. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Jermichael Dean, the right tackle, moved prematurely. Second down, Glenn over the middle. The pass caught by Lewis. And Nick Lewis comes up with a first down catch. Another second down conversion. Ray Williams over there, but that's a clutch play for Nick Lewis.
Yeah, it really is, because he caught this shallow crosser from here. He caught it about
major foul,
8 yards short.
Hamilton, number 9. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down, Calgary.
Either Ray Williams hit him out of bounds here. And generally speaking, you'd say yes. I mean, with the sidelines completely covered, that's a little harder to call.
That's a tough call. They are keeping the sideline a little uncovered over there, but valuable 15 yards for the Stamps. That pass behind Jabari Arthur incomplete, but Calgary's got themselves out of a hole here and should be able to kill the clock without any further damage. That's another big second down conversion by Nick Lewis.
Well, and what John Huffnagel and the staff will have to talk about with Calgary is just protecting the ball a little bit better. They've been a couple fumbles early on. I mean, 3 to open the, gave 4 turnovers total for Calgary in the first half. The defense is bailing them out with some turnovers and some big plays of their own.
2nd and 10. Here comes the rush, and Kevin Glenn is dropped. There's another sack. Brandon Pegues, the former Lion, has his 3rd sack of the year.
That one hurt Kevin Glenn. One of those solid hits. He tried to duck under the first one as he's coming in from the right edge here. And watch Kevin Glenn duck in and step up, and he steps right into Pegues. Rush up the middle was it Terrence Moore.
So on comes Maver. They'll let the clock run down. Saw Don Sweet last night, the kick consultant for the BC Lions. Rob Maver,
Calgary,
telling me earlier this year that he worked with Don Sweet in the offseason and credits him with getting his career back on track. He said, in fact, that might not even be in the league if it hadn't been for Don Sweet's advice.
He's helped a lot of kickers.
Has he ever? In fact, helped Rene Paredes as well.
Paul McCallum.
Chris Williams awaits. Williams around the 40-yard line. Got a block. Gets outside and is out of bounds at the Hamilton bench. There is a flag down. And no time left on the clock. Going against the Tiger Cats, and that should be it for the first half of play.
on the return, holding Hamilton number 45. That penalty is declined. Halftime.
So an interesting first half. The TiCats open up a 10-0 lead, but it's the Stamps by 1 at halftime.
Hamilton Tiger Cats had a 10-0 lead, and it vanished in a hurry in difficult conditions. This one taken back 100 yards, interception return for a touchdown by Keon Raven, and it is the Calgary Stampeders by 1 in a very, very important game for both teams. Dave Renner, Chris Schultz, Matt Dunnigan, Jock Climby. Again, if Calgary wins, they wrap up second spot in the West. They will host the West semifinal. Hamilton needs to win out to guarantee they get into the playoffs. Hamilton trying to win in Calgary for the first time in a long time. In fact, let's take you back to the last time they won there. It was July 4th, 2004. Danny Mack threw for 4 touchdowns. This one to Archie Amerson. They had a 25-0 lead early, and their coach at the time was going crazy over on the sideline.
There he is.
He's like, guys, can you
Stop anybody?
I didn't see that one coming. Yeah, we were on fire back in
25-0.
Part of history, Matty.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on.
Fire.
Hold on. It was 25-0, and you came back and made it close. It was 41-34 at DSC. Crawl back into it.
God damn,
Fire, man.
Yeah, Schultz, we got fire.
And you had Nick Lewis back then.
That's right. Nick Lewis. Mark Kaliks is the only other player, I believe, that's still on that football team. Yeah.
Well, Hamilton is trailing by 1. Okay, we'll let you start.
Yeah.
What have you seen? This is fun to watch.
Even back in 04, you know, we have to teach them how to throw, catch, run, tackle, and
Block.
Yes, and the blocking's huge today in these type of conditions where you've got to get vertical. A north and south game. There at Stella, allowing Bacardi Grant to get north and south, and here you're going to have Anwar Stewart, boom, right there. Then you got Brooks, and then it's off to the races. Then here it is Jabari Arthur on Peach. And in game conditions like this, you've got to have your footing, and it's got to be north and south because you can't have a lot of back, side to side. So this is huge, and blocking is critical when you need help from your teammates, and this is what it's all about, making her done. And Schulte, it is, a lot of blocks going on in the first half.
John Cornish has 55 yards receiving, Schulte, but the league's leading rusher along the ground, 8 carries for 4 yards. What's going on there?
Well, significant in that these two teams, when they played back on August the 9th, John Cornish had 170 yards. But what Hamilton did very well is they took him out of the game early. In this type of a football atmosphere, in this type of weather conditions, it's always better to be the guy who knows where he is going than to be the guy that has to chase the guy who knows where he's going. So when your running game isn't there, and Dave Dickinson, this is a really smart move, you start using him on a crossing. You start getting him into the open areas so he can use his athletic ability and he can set up the footwork of the defender. A lot of success for this team and Hamilton TiCats will be who can use the weather conditions to their advantage, who can make the other player slip and use their footwork to a disadvantage.
Well, I think another huge factor in this football game is protection, and particularly Hamilton TiCats, who've given up 5 sacks in the first half. It's pretty tough to win a game when your quarterback constantly finds himself on his back. Calgary, though, is using some pretty good schemes that is confusing Hamilton so far, and I wanted to show you how they got actually 3 of their sacks. Calgary has gotten 3 sacks on the same blitz, and it's just here it is just your usual 4-man rush right up here. But it's the linebackers here that matter. Watch Keon Raymond. This is called a Sam Jet. You're going to see him come off the edge here, and you're going to see a delay by the Will linebacker, and then he's going to come. And then watch how the right tackle misreads this. He has got to get depth here. He's right here. He has got to get depth and ensure that he is picking up this man right here. He doesn't, and the quarterback's down. Now, Calgary has success, so what do? They come with exactly the same blitz again. You're going to see Raymond, and you're going to see the delayed blitz by the Will linebacker. And again, watch how this time the running back, he's there to pick up the blitz, but the delayed blitz, nobody has him. Whose fault is that? Nobody's. You're not going to expect an O-lineman to come off their block at this stage. That's just a coverage sack. That is a question of the quarterback having to get rid of the ball quicker. They had a 3rd sack with exactly the same blitz. They have got to find a way to pick that up.
Defenses have taken advantage of mistakes. Turnovers have led to 2 touchdowns on either side. So those highlights, obviously, from when there was not as much snow on the field. Bunch of snow out there now, Jocko. Did you used to love this as a receiver?
You know what?
Take advantage?
I did. I love this. I know where I'm going. I love getting that guy slipping and sliding all over the field.
Let's see what the second half brings. Welcome back. One stat I can tell you, it's right around freezing at McMahon Stadium right now in terms of temperature. What about on the field, Matty?
Well, now, off air, yeah, I got to take this because, off air, Matty, you said something. You made a comment about these quarterbacks and the play in the first half. What'd you say again?
You want me to say it again? I said both quarterbacks in the first half are making the teams that let them go this offseason happy that they did.
Pretty harsh, but I can see why you're saying it. 2 interceptions by Burris, 1 interception, and 1 fumble by Glenn. That is the tale of the first half.
Here is Charleston Hughes with Jermaine Franklin.
Charleston, can you talk about the defense and how you guys stepped up after giving up that early touchdown?
You know, the weather right now and the offense is struggling pretty bad right now. We turned over the ball a few times. That's just better opportunity for the defense to step up and let them know that we got their back.
Who does have the advantage in these conditions?
Whoever has the advantage is who don't turn the ball over the most. That's what it all boils down to, is ball security and playing smart.
Thanks for this.
Yeah.
Back at snowy McMahon Stadium. As we get set for the second half, it's the Stampeders leading the Tiger Cats 14-13, and Jermaine Franklin is standing by with the Hamilton quarterback.
Hank, how has the weather conditions affected your game plan?
Well, it got me on the one on that when the, as far as the sides changed and I threw the go route into the wind. Just got to put it out there. But, it's becoming a game where you got to protect the ball. And our defense done a great job as far as getting us back on the field, getting turnovers. Offensively, we just got to finish off drives. I mean, we've moved the ball. We put ourselves in scoring position, but we got to finish off drives. And, of course, the 1 turnover on the drop pass got us there. But we've been moving the ball. We're a confident bunch right now. And we have an opportunity to go out here and do some good things, put some points on the board, and do what we can to get a win.
You were sacked 5 times in that first half. How can the protection improve in the second half?
Well, it's a big-time challenge for our young guys. I mean, this is what they live for. This is what they were talking about in the locker room. they were getting pumped up and everything. So I'm eager to see how they're going to respond. But I live with my guys. I ride with my guys all day, and we're going to go out here and play as a unit and fight hard because they're a great front seven, and we need those guys to be victorious.
Thanks, Hank.
I appreciate it.
Red Jones kickstart the second half for Henry Burris and company. Tad Cornegay, the former TiCat, with the tackle. Obviously, we spoke with Henry Burris on tape just prior to the start of this second half, and he's got great field position.
Andrea Jones has had a couple of these returns to give the offense good field position in this game early on to start the game, and now to start the second half.
60-yard return. So Hamilton begins at the Calgary 40-yard line. Shotgun snap bobbled a bit, and Coburn bounces off first contact for about 3. Check the offensive leaders for Hamilton through 30 minutes.
Henry Burris with 144. One of those interceptions went for a touchdown. Avon Coburn, don't be surprised to see a lot more of him in this second half. Corey Grant had that nice touchdown with a block from Dave Stala.
Runs for 3 in 2nd and 7.
3 for Coburn, 2nd and 7. Pass behind Andy Fantu's incomplete.
Matt Dunnigan talked about it at halftime. I think it's a good point to make, is that in conditions like this, and we've got a little help when you look at the field at halftime, and they'll do this in between the quarter, the 3rd and the 4th as well, where they'll open up the hash marks and then go across the yard line just so we can try and help you understand exactly where the ball is, and the teams know where the ball is. But when you have conditions like this, it's a real straightforward game. It's a north-south game, not a lot of lateral movement, not a lot of juking from offensive players. They do know where they're going, so they should have the advantage. However, it's tough on both sides. Straight line game.
There's Luka Kanji from 44 yards out, clearing a little path to get better traction. And he hits this one better than the last. And Luka Kanji has given the TiCats an early 3rd quarter lead. Jason Armstead's been dangerous on returns in this game. Luka Kanji has just hit a 44-yard field goal to give the TiCats a 16-14 advantage. Armstead from his 15, up over the 35. A 24-yard return for Jason Armstead.
Trying to avoid the turnover at Calgary in the second half. John Cornish, 59 yards of offense. Didn't get a lot going along the ground, as Dave Randorf mentioned. A few catches and blocks from Nick Lewis. There's Kevin Glenn's numbers. You know, in the first time these two teams played back in Hamilton, they didn't have to really throw the ball a lot. In fact, it was one of the better games for the Hamilton defensive secondary. Only 141 yards passing for Calgary. They didn't have to. They had over 200 yards rushing as a team. Hamilton's done better against the run.
Kevin Glenn going to the air, and that was intercepted. D. Webb, the safety, picks that off. Rob Cote will bring him down, but another turnover by Calgary. It's 5 in the game. And D. Webb has his 3rd interception of the year.
You know, this is a surprising one for Kevin Glenn, who's been pretty good at.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Hamilton, number 90. 15
coming
yards,
off the board.
First down.
Well, that'll take it off the board. Greg Peach roughing the passer.
Take a look. You know, there's no question. I mean, defensive players should know by now that once the ball is gone, first of all, you can't push him like that. You can't hit him in the head. There was helmet-to-helmet contact on the quarterback. I mean, it's no secret anymore.
What a reprieve. Peach in on that tackle to stuff John Cornish, who hasn't found anything up the middle in this game. A pickup of 1. Peach, a veteran, that's a costly mistake.
Absolutely, he should know better. I mean, this is just a poor mistake. I mean, right here, it was a poor decision. He can now he just grabs him, right? When Kevin Glenn throws it here, just kind of grab him around it and hold him up almost. Bad decision, takes the turnover off the board.
2nd and 10 from midfield. Into the hands of Maurice Price, who finds room and gets away. He's fast. Can they catch him? No. Touchdown. 55 yards. Mo Price.
Now my guess is that Greg Peach will not want to get too close to George Cortez on the sideline when he gets over there. The Hamilton Tiger Cats had the turnover in Calgary's end. A bad penalty gives the ball back to Kevin Glenn. He hits Price, and just like that,
Franklin and Bryant provide the blocks to spring them. Maurice Price, who fractured an ankle in the preseason, finally getting a chance to show his stuff, his first CFL touchdown. And what a turnaround from an apparent TiCat takeaway. Well, they use the pyro here after a touchdown, and under these circumstances, it's a whiteout. Different kind. Stampeders going to go for 2, and that's intercepted in the end zone. Ricardo Coakley comes up with it, and can he bring it back? No, he'll get tackled at the goal line. A little surprised that the Stamps would do that this early, and there's a 4-point Calgary lead.
What's up, Orlando?
Plays 71 yards and 55-yarder.
We ain't stopping, baby.
By Maurice Price for the touchdown that gives Calgary the lead once again.
JR Marquis, my baby Nicole. I love y'all, man. Hey, Price is right, baby. We ain't stopping, baby.
Yes, Maurice Price just said hello, Orlando, Florida.
Got through the phone book.
I think the weather's a little different in Orlando, Florida.
There it is, the boot. Siobhan Walker will take that. Slips a little bit there. He gets closed down. Keaton McDougall down in a hurry. Guy from Saskatchewan can handle these conditions.
Straight line game, and that Maurice Price touchdown. You need 2 blocks, one here and one here. And the receivers get the job done. It's Romby Bryant and R.J. Franklin. Stop it there, look at this. Blocks made, boom, 1, 2, and now it's just goodbye. Inside pursuit, Ray Williams takes the wrong angle. The angle is outrun by Maurice Price, but those 2 key blocks down the field. Matt Dunnigan talked about it.
A little puzzled by the 2-point convert attempt at this stage of the game. But Calgary does have the lead, and Hamilton has a first down on Andy Fantu's first catch of the game. Top Canadian receiver in the league this year. Quiet night so far.
Last 3 games have been big, though. Over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that's why it's a little surprising that he's been this quiet.
9 second down conversion catches the last 3 weeks. 15 there for a first down. Burris, some time. Jaguar the catch. And another first down, his first catch. So a couple of guys being heard from for the first time today. First Fantus and now Jaguar, who had the drop that turned out to be the interception by Raymond.
Yeah, pretty little crossing route on Fred Bennett here, but better protection. Blimey talked about this at halftime, that the protection has been an issue, and we saw that in the first half, but Burris had some time to get it out there.
Up at the 53-yard line, 12 for Jaguar. Another TiCat first down, into the hands of Coburn, and he can get dragged down. There's Charleston Hughes once again.
Take a look at Henry Burris and his return to Calgary. Started out well. It's Bakari Grant on a crosser that goes for a touchdown. Little screen past Avon Coburn.
But as he mentioned to Jermaine, now they've got to finish some of those drives. Yep. 2nd and 7 here. Four-man rush, he'll step up, flag down. Burris would have the first down as he slides in front of the oncoming tackler, but it's coming back, I believe.
There's been a lot of teams this year that have had problems trying to contain Charleston Hughes.
Holding Hamilton, number 65. A 10-yard penalty remains second down.
Pascal Bayerjean, the young right guard. Just his second start to the CFL.
And guess who he's going to try and block? Charleston Hughes. Bayerjean in the inside. Gets Hughes, he moves from outside the end. Malik Jackson took the outside rush, the linebacker. Put Hughes on the inside and gets the holding, draws the holding call.
Cody Husband, who started at right guard, moves to left guard with the entry to Peter Dykowski, who's missed. They take one way into the hands of Williams on the near side, and Chris Williams can't turn it upfield. Keon Raymond will help him up, and the punt team has to come on for Hamilton.
Third down, Hamilton.
Anthony Parker will drop back for the Stampeders, along with Armstead. Oh, and trouble for Bartell. Second time he's had to do some fancy work to get the kick away. Now where do they spot this? Looks like an illegal kick, and they'll rule it goes out at the 23-yard line. So he didn't make it to the 20. And that's an illegal kick and a penalty against Hamilton. Only on much. I forgot math and science too.
Math for me, certainly. But
that's why we're in these unskilled positions.
Right.
The hitter is Cote with the catch. And a first down, D. Webb with the stick. But it's a first down up at the 50-yard line.
Nice catch. Way to use his hands here. Cote coming from that tight end spot. Rob Cote just going to shoot through the gap, turn over with his hands. Third catch of the game, and it's a nice one. That's right where D. Webb had that interception that was taken off the board.
Out to the far side. There's Maurice Price again. Out of bounds at the TiCat bench. But they, as you mentioned early in the game, moving Price around a bit. And they want to utilize his speed.
Well, he showed it on that hit screen. Dave Dickinson's going to go with the hot hand, and he's going to go with 17. Keep feeding him the rock if he's on a roll, and he's on a roll right now.
Markway McDaniel not in the lineup, a hamstring problem, and they didn't want to risk any further damage to the former TiCat. Quick hitter. And Nick Lewis, another catch. The leader in yards after the catch, which really surprises me. You wouldn't think that's his game.
This is automatic, though. If the opponent, whoever it may be, is going to play his own defense and leave Nick Lewis uncovered, this is automatic for this offense. He'll just sit down right there, pick up that 8, 9, 10 yards, and away they go. He'll do that every time.
So he's one catch away from matching a career high. Cornish out of the backfield. And Kevin Ibram bumps him out, but close to another Calgary first down. Kevin Glenn's got the Calgary offense moving.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple of things here from Dave Dickinson's offense. It started with Rob Cote, a split-second quick pass from the tight end. This is about, again, 1,000, 2,000 balls out of there to John Cornish. Same on that hitch to Nick Lewis. The quick game from Dave Dickinson.
3 catches for Cornish, 65 yards. First down. Glenn into the flat, and Lewis gets pulled down immediately. Brought down by Coakley.
What this Hamilton D-line is going to have to try and do against this quick game. This is a lot like Calvillo plays in Montreal, where if you can't get there sack-wise and get pressure on the quarterback because he's getting it out of there quickly, you got to get your hands up in the throwing lane. Try and block a couple at the line of scrimmage to give your back end a little bit of help, your DBs.
Kevin Glenn, hot hand on the drive. He's 5 for 5. But 2nd and 10. And off Cornish, finally some room. John Cornish has a first down inside the 10.
Avi Khan getting a chance to play for Spencer Wilson, who's injured. He's a left guard. He's going to be point of attack right here. What a pickup he's been for the Stampeders. He takes his man, I believe it's Greg Peach, turns him in. That opens up the inside lane. And on the outside, Stanley Bryant on the kickout block. Well executed by the big boys up front.
Newcomer Dominic Harris, just signed by the TiCats this week. In at will linebacker, made the tackle, but it's 1st and goal at the 7. Back in the hands of Cornish. Cut back, a dive, touchdown. Second of the game, 13th of the year for John Cornish. And he has tied Chris Williams for the league lead.
Watch the footwork for John Cornish. He tries to change direction. He has to stop his feet and pound him a couple of times just to get back around that corner. And then goes airborne. Up over the top for Ray Williams.
I think more yards on that carry than he had rushing in the game. 7-yard touchdown run for Cornish. Capping a 7-play touchdown drive. Extra point through the smoke, and when it clears, it'll be an 11-point Stampeder lead. Two consecutive touchdowns by the Stampeders, and they've opened up their biggest lead of this game.
The run game starting to open up. Nick Lewis is going to come out and get a block here on Kevin Ivan. And Ivan's got to kind of blow this play up upfield. He's got to come upfield more and doesn't, because 82 just turns him inside. Lane wide open. And even though John Cornish, because of the snow, had to chop his feet a couple of times, he still had enough time to bounce it.
Good there.
Running Paredes on Roya Jones. And Jones had a good game on the returns, forced out at the TiCat bench.
Now, there's been a lot of great receivers in the Canadian Football League, and well, you can make an argument for who's the best. I know a guy on our panel can make an argument for a guy on our panel, but when it comes to the best blocking receiver in Canadian Football League history, my vote goes for number 82, the Calgary Stampeders. Throughout his entire career, there's not been a better blocking receiver in this league that I have seen than number 82.
And Rivera's got to get something going, but there's early movement, and this play doesn't get off. Under 5 minutes left, 3rd quarter. And TiCats will have to start 5 yards further back.
Procedure. Hamilton. 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Cats need a response. Had the lead into the 4th quarter in the first meeting. Points, early movement again. Mark Dial, the right tackle, out of his stance prematurely.
He saw that same blitz, and he saw Charleston Hughes. And that blitz that Jock Climby drew for you at halftime.
Procedure. Hamilton, number 63. 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
And that gave him all kinds of problems early in the first half. So let's show you again. First of all, this guy alone causes problems for a lot of tackles. But on the outside of him is Keon Raymond, number 25. And that's why Mark Dial on that right tackle spot moves early, because he hasn't been able to handle that action off the edge.
making a lot of noise. Here's Coburn. And Coburn not going very far. Stampeder defense revved up. By the way, Tad Cornegay has moved into the defense on the corner. Guy who started his career in Hamilton. Darius Brooks out of the game.
Cornegay, another good pickup veteran player, and he was the backup for Keon Raymond. So they've got it now. Calgary hoping that neither one of those two gets hurt.
Second and long, TiCats need a big play. Burrow stands in. Now let's fly. He's got Grant open. And incomplete. Quincy Butler had a shot at the ball.
Take a look. Bakari Grant has to get out and around the jam from Keon Raymond, and then he's picked up for Quincy Butler, who's just patient back there. That went right through his hands.
Bartell's boot, fielded by Armstead and buried. Now fielded in a hurry, Nathan Kanya. This Is Our League is brought to you by Nissan, and well, this is our game. Get one of these a year at least, and
yeah, man,
they're fun when you need the snow blowers out. Remember my first Grey Cup '96 at Ivor Wynn when didn't have much snow removal equipment that day. And the guys busy before and during halftime to try and make it possible for the fans to see, and these fans not going anywhere, enjoying the snow, and we usually get some of our biggest rated games for these snow games. Fans have some fun watching the guys playing in the snow.
You love it because, you know, especially you have HD. If you have HD and that snow's coming across, and guys with, especially those offensive linemen, you can see their breath, and they got the no sleeves on at all. Playing tough, hard-nosed football and up in the middle. It's awesome. That time of year, and you know playoffs are around the corner when it is snowing. And Dave Moyer, our stats guy, is having a nightmare because he can't see where the ball is.
Second and 8, here's Cornish, look out! John Cornish with a burst, and Coakley cuts him down inside the 40-yard line. Well, the leading rusher in the league has become a dangerous receiver as this game has worn on.
We've seen these backs come out of the backfield and look like they're going to block first and then release, and Cornish tries to make that same look coming up out of the backfield. He looks like he's going to block, takes a little step, and then screens it out there. He's got some help out in front with Jamichael Dean, and then it's straight lines. He can't make that lateral cut out in the open field because of the snow, so he just runs over Coakley.
Unofficially at 99 yards receiving in the game, 34. Whoa! And a mix-up in the backfield, a malfunction at the junction. And Stamps fortunate to get back on it. Robbie Bryant shaken up on that collision between he and Matt Walter.
Well, Matt Walter came in because here comes Romby. And Matt Walter came in because John Cornish was tired after that screen run. And this one, just the timing off. And Glenn quick to jump on it. Whoa, whoa. That makes a blooper tape.
Yeah, that's candidate for worst play of the day. Second and 12. Glenn Crosser too low for Nick Lewis to scoop off his shoe tops.
Armando Murillo was coming and lined up Nick Lewis just in case he did make the catch and thought twice about it.
And it looks like the coach is still doing a burn about the play before. So the punt team will come on. And Mavers challenge to pin the TiCats and avoid the single.
It's been a few games since Chris Williams has taken one to the house.
Knocked away from him here, and on the bounce, he's already out inside the 10, so Meaver gets the job done.
Well, that's one of the reasons for that. Kickers are doing a better job of trying to keep it away from him, or if he does get his hands on it, make him run it down and catch it on the run so that he's running east-west rather than north-south. After 5 punt return touchdowns, 6 total kick return touchdowns, Hunter's got wise, started keeping it away from him.
Well, a long field for Henry Burris. Trying to climb out of this 11-point disadvantage. 10-point lead early, and they had the football. Looked like they were going to go in and add to that lead when a ball bounced off the shoulder pads of Sammy Jaguar, and Keon Raymond took it 100 yards for a return. And that has changed the momentum of this game.
Boy, is it ever. And that goes back to that philosophy from a lot of coaches that talk about those 5 or 6 games that happen that can change the outcome, and you don't know when they're going to happen. And sometimes it's not the last 5. It's a play that happens in the first half. But that was a huge one that changed momentum completely in the score.
2nd and 3, Siobhan Walker will shift it outside. Good work for Walker. Look out! Great speed, and he just hauled down. Keon Raymond saves the day. Certainly saves the touchdown, but an explosive run for Siobhan Walker on the final play of the 3rd quarter. An 11-point Stampeder lead headed to the 4th. There are the numbers through 3 quarters, and for the TiCats, enhanced by that 38-yard run on the final play by Siobhan Walker.
Well, 2 things here. I want to go back to a stat I used last night. About the last 5 weeks, all 20 games were won by the team that won the time of possession. Calgary's got the edge there. Turnovers have been an issue in this game, but I want to go back to that debate.
Yeah.
Siobhan Walker and that big play ability, 38 yards, versus Avon Coburn, who's got 63 but 7 more carries. He gets you that 7-8-yard carry, but Siobhan Walker gives you what we just saw in that big play.
Which is why I wanted both guys. Close game, you want Coburn, but now you need a big play to get back in it, and Siobhan Walker provides that.
Well, he has that tremendous acceleration, and if you can just get the angle on one guy, which he does here on the outside, boy, that acceleration can carry him a long way. This one 38, but we've seen him take off, his longest on the season, 89, and they need a spark. They need a guy that maybe get the bench up off their feet and get the defense excited. You know, it's an interesting debate. The guy with the big play potential versus consistency. Most of the time, I think coaches like consistency because they want to know what they're getting each play. And that's where Avon Coburn has been outstanding.
Coburn also the superior blocker, and the TiCats have needed help in that area tonight.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
4th quarter about set to start, but they've got the snowblowers out too.
But at this point too, I would make another argument here for Siobhan Walker because, I mean, this is desperation time for the Hamilton TiCats. This is the biggest quarter of their season. I mean, they want to make the playoffs. They still have got a shot at it, but they got to find a way to come back here and finish this drive right now. Build off the momentum of Siobhan Walker's run.
TiCats can still make it even with a loss today. They need to beat Winnipeg and Toronto. Here's a crosser to Williams, and he cuts it back and gets extra yards inside the 35. Another Hamilton first down, and a drive being put together here by Henry Burris.
By the way, our panel is in the Sioux Falls media guide with Siobhan Walker. Currently right now. They said Siobhan Walker in their media guide is college. Said TSN panel in Canada called him the fastest man in the CFL.
Must be true. And off to Coburn trying to get outside. And cuts it down to the 30-yard line. 4 for Avon Coburn.
Well, crucial that Hamilton finish this drive. I mean, that goes without saying, but you almost wonder in a season that's slipping away for Hamilton. Is it also, I know it's 13 minutes with plenty of time, but is it 3 downtime?
Juwan Simpson limped off the middle linebacker, Duran Mayo in there, and, well, do they have enough players? They've just called timeout. 11 on the field for Calgary.
Timeout, Calgary.
Simpson limped off. Maybe didn't want to take a knee and lose 3 plays, but they're telling him he should have taken a knee because that cost them the timeout.
Yeah, that's right. Devon Claybrooks, defensive line coach, turned to him and gave him an earful. They were in a heated discussion. So he told him, hey, just take a knee, we'll regroup. We didn't see you come off, didn't get your replacement in there.
2nd and 6. Good drop, dumps it off, and away goes Williams. First down and more. Chris Williams, touchdown. And he's got the lead in the touchdown derby back with his 14th of the year. 30-yard touchdown to get the TiCats back in the game.
Back-to-back crossing routes for Chris Williams. He went to set it up, get it in scoring range. Time for Henry Burris this time. A nice block from left tackle Brian Simmons on Charleston Hughes. Took him wide and gave Burris time to wait for Chris Williams to clear through the linebacking core. No Juwan Simpson to step up and cut him off. He was on the bench, and he's around the corner and in the end zone.
And they're going to leave the offense on the field and go for 2 as well. This one might be a little more conventional than
you get to 7,
the Calgary decision initially. Fantus has the catch, the 2 points, and they're within a field goal now. A 102-yard touchdown drive by the TiCats, and they're within 3 here at McMahon.
We're in now. We got to pick up.
Chris Williams has got them back in it.
Let's get it.
30-yard touchdown, 14th of the year. That's 1 away from matching a TiCat touchdown record.
Tony champion in 89. 15.
There he goes, Armstead. And Armstead still going. Kanji trying to come off, and Luka Kanji saves further damage, but Jason Armstead's been running all over the field on kick returns in this one.
Tacklers in these conditions are having problems because when they stop their feet moving and then they start to slide, the ball carrier keeps running. I mean, there's a bunch of broken tackles here. Guys just can't get the angle on Jason Armstead.
54-yard kick return. And at the TiCat 44-yard line, Kevin Glenn goes to work. Quick hitter. And a catch for R.J. Franklin, brought down by Coakley.
Let's go back to that touchdown. I want to show you Brian Simmons. We've said pretty much all game that this has been a challenge for this young offensive line for Hamilton. He's on Charleston Hughes here, and he's going to keep him up for Henry Burris to have time to hit that crossing route, wait for Williams to come all the way across. He needs to keep Charleston Hughes off him, and Brian Simmons keeps him wide and high on the touchdown.
6 yards from Glenn to Franklin, 2nd and 4. And that pass is intercepted off the hands of Nick Lewis, and Ricardo Coakley comes up with it. And that's 6 turnovers in the game. And remember, there was another one that was negated by a penalty. But the TiCats have light.
I think this ball is a little bit behind Nick Lewis. Now, he's made this catch many, many times. In fact, last 4 or 5 years, this has been his play. He comes on that third receiver inside, runs the quick out, a little bit behind him. He goes down to one knee, but when he tips it up there, he gives Ricardo Coakley a chance at it. Another turnover.
Coakley's first interception as a Tiger Cat. Not many teams are +4 and don't win in a CFL game. There's Walker unable to get his shoulder pads turned upfield.
Looked like he was limping a bit on that run and grabbing the right hamstring. It didn't look like the moment he got the ball, or his calf, he's down on his calf on the right side. He's the guy that sparked this Hamilton, both offense and defense now with another turnover.
Remember that touchdown drive started at the TiCat 8-yard line. He got them out of a big hole with a 38-yard run. Cats have momentum, but they need a second down play here. Coburn over the backfield, and he gets cartwheel.
Straight lines.
Bennett.
Oh boy, and now he's trying to get himself to the bench as well. And Siobhan Walker already over there getting attention. Straight lines in condition like this. Tough for ball carriers to make those lateral cuts and get away from the hit, so just lower your shoulder. That's what Fred Bennett does.
And Coburn has had to take a knee. Tried to get off and get to the bench, but halfway through put a knee down. Tough hombre, felt the effects of that hit from corner Fred Bennett. Been a good football game.
It has. It really has.
Bartell boots it away. And this one will bounce out at the 36-yard line. Calgary football when we come back. TSN is the home of NFL Sunday Night Football. Our Week 7 matchup sees the 2-3 Steelers in Cincy to take on the 3-3 Bengals. Live coverage tomorrow 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN and TSN Radio. Calgary has the lead by 3. They fumbled 3 times. Kevin Glenn's thrown 3 interceptions. And yet they continue to have the advantage. Flag down. Free play, but corner's not going anywhere. Looked like the TiCats were offside unless they were drawn.
Calgary Stampeders 9 times this year have been in games that have been decided by 8 points or less. They're 4-5 in those games. And it really is.
Offside, Hamilton, number 99. It's a 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the former Stampeder, Torrey Davis.
It is a crucial time for the Hamilton TiCats in their season. 10:31. Keep their playoff hopes alive, or they basically lose hope.
So 1st and 5, corner straight ahead, and with the exception of the one series in which he scored the touchdown, the rush game just has not been there against a TiCat defense that has been scorched by the run much of this season.
Well, they ranked dead last against it, or actually, excuse me, 7th against the run, giving up 121 yards per game coming into this one. They have been better. I mean, remember, Cornish had 170 in the first meeting, and the team has Calgary Stampeders over 200.
2nd and 4. Looks inside and then decides to take off with it. And flags fly as he gets stuck short of the first down. See if there was a face mask in there. See what the call.
Major foul, face mask. Hamilton, number 96. 15 yards and into the play, first down.
That's the newcomer Terrence Moore out of Nebraska in his 2nd game.
Now think about a couple of plays now. That Drake Peach hit that ended up in a Maurice Price touchdown a play later. Hamilton TiCats offense was coming on the field after a punt here. That was short of the first down, and that face mask keeps the drive alive for Calgary.
Takes the ball to the TiCat 51. First down, 6 receivers set. 4-man rush, and Glenn's got to move around. Hopped over one of his blockers and throws it away. John Gott, the center, was the man that Glenn had to hurdle, and he was a little slow to get up. John Gott
Torrey Davis got a real good push up the middle from the interior. A nice swim move. I might have been on John Gott. Watch how he gets that penetration. He's the guy who causes the problems for Kevin Glenn. He steps up, swim move up over the top. Working on Supas actually, and then now Glenn is just trying to flush out of there.
Ludwig Chronic hunters down for 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap to Glenn over the middle, and this is picked off. And that's the newcomer, Dominique Harris, still going. And he'll finally get dragged down around the Calgary 42-yard line. In his first game, in his first week in the Canadian Football League. Dominique Harris out of Temple. Same school as Henry Burris, comes up with a big play.
Same school. And look at the depth here. He's gonna drop under this deep throw. This is right around the same type of interception that D. Webb got that came off the board. He just comes underneath it. Nice depth on that drop. Well, that's the 4th of the game for Hamilton. They had 7 interceptions on the season coming in, and they've had one taken off the board.
So Henry Burris has a chance to get on even terms or take the lead, and he wants to do that downfield and incomplete. Trying to hit a streaking Chris Williams on the go route.
Brian Simmons is going to give, once again, Henry Burris some time to throw this deep route as he keeps Charleston Hughes wide and high again. Now let's take a look. How close was Chris Williams? Boy, he had a shot at it. Did he ever? Cornigan might have got his left hand just in there to tip it away.
Cornigan replacing the injured Darius Brooks, 2nd and 10. They empty it out. And Burris looking right side, nobody there. He'll take off, and Charleston Hughes shuts him down. Right at the line of scrimmage, and maybe for a loss, and if it is, it's another sack for Hughes. And that's 2 on the game.
But this was a hustle sack after the coverage downfield forced Henry Burris to pull it down, because initially, again, Brian Simmons takes this inside move, does a pretty good job. In fact, he's done well in the last 3-4 games, or plays. I've been watching him closely, but that's a hustle sack.
So they couldn't even move it into field goal range, so now they'll look for the pin, and what a punt that is by Bartel.
Perfect. Hits
the corner, and they're going to mark it out right at the 1.
Perfect punt from Josh Bartel. 1 hop and 1 yard line.
Stamps have turned it over 7 times in the game. Hamilton with a touchdown on the first turnover, but no points off turnover since. Underneath, and John Cornish is brought down immediately. D. Webb, the safety, breaks that up. And it's 2nd and 10 from the Calgary 1.
D. Webb comes up and makes the tackle and picks him up out of the backfield, and Ray Williams, I believe, makes a real good decision here not to hit Cornish on the way down. Here comes D. Webb, number 5, left of your screen right here, and watch, he's going to hit him, make the tackle. Now number 9's in behind him. He's coming up, Ricardo Coakley it is, who jumps over him and doesn't take the leg hit.
To give Cornish a couple of yards on that play, that puts him over 100 in the game. Glenn's in trouble, and he almost threw another interception. Oh, what a chance for former Stampeder Jeff Tisdale. But the TiCats will settle for the stop as Tisdale looks skyward. Tried to force that into R.J. Franklin.
Boy, did he ever. And I don't think there's any choice now but for Calgary to give up 2 here.
Make it a 1-point game.
And Chris Williams is going to catch the ball, and even if he gets 5 yards on this return, they're basically in field goal range. I mean,
question. He'll step out, and it is a one-point game, and the Stampeders will have to kick it off. Remember when these two teams met in August at Ivor Wynn, it was Calgary with 14 unanswered quarter points to win 31-20. And now the TiCats trying to author a comeback. And they have 10 unanswered points to get within one. Trying to win for the first time at McMahon since 2004. More importantly, trying to enhance a playoff berth that is precarious at best right now. But still, it's remarkable.
Yeah.
This team still has a chance at a home game in the playoffs.
That's what is remarkable about it, and that's what makes this game so important. Final 6:23 so important.
Got help this weekend with the Argos losing and the crossover Eskimos beaten in BC.
I haven't done all the math, Chris, but I think it's fair to say that the season for the Hamilton TiCats rests in 6 minutes and 23 seconds. Right? I mean, they have to win this football game. I know the math doesn't completely eliminate them here, but
I like their chances a whole lot more if they win in this game, but with some help, they can still win by beating Winnipeg and Toronto by 9 points.
See, you're losing me.
Like all the scenarios, math and science out the window. Here's Walker. And Siobhan Walker twisting around, and Ian Raymond will finish him off. Or check that. That was Carl McCartney who has the tackle, and he leads the Stampeders in special teams tackles.
Well, what's been intriguing to me, the game away from the game, as you take a look at Burris's numbers, is starting to grow a little bit with some success in this fourth quarter, is this matchup between Brian Simmons here and Charleston Hughes. We've been watching through the last couple of series. When he's been able to keep Charleston Hughes away from Burris, he's made plays to Chris Williams or Siobhan Walker.
Yeah, and I like that Williams against Ted Carnegie matchup. Burris going to air it out the other way and overthrows Sammy Jaguar down the rail. Fred Bennett was in good defensive position.
A little surprised on the decision there from Henry Burris, because you know this play is designed to have about 3 or 4 options for him. He can give it on the inside handoff. He can keep it and take it to the little push route to the flat. That little 3 or 4 yard throw, that's not a play call from the sideline. That's a decision by Burris to sling it deep. Doesn't take much time. It doesn't get any positive yards on first down. And now plays in the hands of the Calgary defense.
2nd and 10. Good protection. Open man. Catch and a first down. Dave Stalla.
See, Fred Bennett couldn't come out of his break. Stalla just sits there and waits. He can't move to come back to the ball. Fred Bennett, who's played well on this curl, he wants to come back and break on it, and he's just stuck because of the footing. Number 8 up high on it. Watch him. Look at, he's trying to come back. Had to take kind of a banana cut to get there.
3rd catch of the game for Stalla. First down at the 52. Burris dumps it off, but away goes Bakari Grant. And he gives up the football. Calgary's on it. And it's Jawan Simpson racing down the sidelines. Still going. And dragged down at the 20-yard line.
Fred Bennett steps up. The rookie out of South Carolina. And he puts his hat on the football. Bakari Grant hits the crosser now, and he's got room. He tries to stiff arm the first tackler. I think it was Jawan Simpson. No, it wasn't. Out in the open field there, it was Quincy Butler, and there's the helmet. It's right on the football from Fred Bennett.
3rd turnover of the game for the TiCats. In the hands of Lewis, and a Good tackle there by Murillo on Nick Lewis.
You know I'm going to keep that thing in the
Fumble
stand.
recovery for Jawan Simpson on the year.
Shout out everybody back in Alabama. Mama love you.
Both teams with 7 points off turnovers in the game.
Hello to everybody back in Alabama. Jawan Simpson played his college ball.
Former captain of the Crimson Tide, 48-yard return.
Takedown for this Hamilton D.
2nd and 7. Big to corners, pass complete. And a first down for a guy who has regularly provided that, Nick Lewis.
Automatic. It's a read play and automatic. If he gets that kind of cushion, he does it. We talked about it earlier. He did it again on a key moment.
94th catch on the season. That's a new personal best for Lewis. 1st and goal from the 9. They give it to 9. And again up the middle, there's not a whole lot there. Greg Peach finishes him off.
Kevin Ivan shot the gap too and got there.
Exactly 3 minutes remaining. 3-minute warning in a 1-point game. Keep story brought to you by Mr. Luke. Get top to bottom maintenance and take good care and winterize your car because the snow's coming.
Yeah, another touchdown pass for Henry Burris. This was a big play. Turned the game around. Keon Raymond got the Calgary momentum. That Maurice Price 56-yard touchdown catch. Hamilton Tiger Cats were about to get the ball when Greg Peach got a penalty.
Here we go. 2nd and goal for the Heat. Lynn's got time, end zone, and finds a fly. Not much done about that one. Armando Murillo, who has an interception with the grab.
No question here. One of the easier passes. I'm not sure what he's arguing. I mean, there was a little bit of hand fighting both ways. But
Hamilton, number 6. Major foul, face mask. Hamilton, number 6. Fraction took place in goal, be first down on the 1-yard line.
No question here. I mean, Robert Bryan comes off the line, inside cut. They're okay so far, and that's okay too. Little hand fighting both. Now there's a face mask and a pull and pass interference, and an easy call made by the official.
Oh, Levi Mitchell in. 1st and goal. Push ahead. And it looks like he's in. Touchdown.
Yeah. Calgary go for 2 here. Seven-point game. Make it an 8-point game so that the Hamilton Tiger Cats will have to get 2 plays. The major.
Yeah, do you make it an 8-point game or with a convert or go for 2 and go up by 9?
Yeah.
Paredes is out.
Unless you're looking like you're going for the single.
Oh.
With your backup quarterback as the holder. No.
Kicks it through.
Well, it's two schools of thought here because yes, you make it a 2-possession game if you go for 2 and get it. If you don't, it's still a converted touchdown. It's still a 7-point game. Huffnagel gets the signal. Now what he's saying here, and our producer John Hines agrees with this philosophy, that now he's forcing Hamilton to score the major. That's one major play, one big play, and then get another big play on the 2-point convert by kicking the single instead of going for 2.
So despite the fact they have made 4 more turnovers in the game, Calgary's actually got 7 points more off takeaways in the game. And that's why they continue to lead. TiCats forcing 7, but just not taking advantage of the opportunities they've created.
Well,
plenty of time left, though.
If Henry Burris wanted to write up a script and said, you know what, give me the ball with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left, down by 8, I got to score a touchdown, and then a 2-point gobber to push it to overtime. In my return to Calgary for the first time as a Hamilton Tiger Cat. The stage is set. We'll see.
Line drive. Here comes Andrea Jones. Decent field position to start. Up beyond the 45-yard line.
Are you playing with Siobhan Walker? Are you playing with Avon Coburn in this drive?
George Cortez is playing with Avon right now,
okay.
But I hear you. And we may see a little bit of both. Remember, Coburn punished earlier in this quarter and needed assistance to the sidelines, and actually,
they were both
Siobhan Walker has been nicked too, although he was out on the last kick return. Pass is low, and Bakari Grant can't hang on, and maybe you got Coburn in here in a passing situation because you want the better blocker.
Yeah, you got him in there for blocking. He's actually looking to the bench now. And Siobhan Walker will come out with a big play potential, and you can see
he's not right.
Yeah, he's bothered by some lower body injury. Bit of a limp for him, so off he goes.
Shaking his head as he goes to the sidelines.
But the guy with that big play potential that can break it, one-man miss, is in there now.
You'll look good if he does it right here. Burris has a completion. They should have a first down. Quincy Butler turned Stalla around, and forward progress was beyond the first down stick before he was tossed back. And they'll give Stalla 11. And the TiCats move the chains.
Calgary Stampeders haven't sent a whole lot of pressure right now. They're dropping back to coverage, sending 4.
Ball at the Stamp 53. First down, pressure. And Burris sideline Shiger open, and he'll step out. Gonna mark him just short of that first down stick.
They did decide, Chris, to come with a little pressure from the secondary that time. Brandon Smith comes to Siobhan Walker's side. He's going to come off this edge to try and get a little more pressure. That's why Burris steps up in the pocket and finds Samuel Jaguar on the outside.
Treat this like a three-play, 2nd and 1. And they look inside, and Stalla has the first down. And is inside the 35-yard line. So very efficiently, Henry Burris has got the TiCats marching.
Leans on his veteran. Clutch time, he's got to go to the surest hands he's got.
First down, and twos, another first down catch. And Henry Burris over 300 in his return to McMahon with that reception by Andy Fantuz.
Blitz pickup by Siobhan Walker in the middle on Malik Jackson helps to give Burris time and finds Fantuz. First down away from the doorstep here.
They scored quickly enough, they may get their hands on the ball one more time with the stop. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. They've got some work to do on this drive. Looks into the corner, wants Grant, and flag flies. Pass interference on the goal line, Brandon Smith.
I'm going to be interested to hear if they call this accidental pass interference or deliberate on Brandon Smith. It's the difference between the 1-yard line or a 10-yard penalty.
Pass interference. Calgary. Accidental pass interference. tripping a player from behind. It's a 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So it is the 10-yard variety.
Looking at the football, I think they got the call right. That was accidental. Tripped him up. Looked worse when he ran over him out of bounds, but
first and 10 at the 13. There's the Walker. Vantuz has got it. One man to beat. And slowed up by Quincy Butler and knocked down inside the 5.
Crawling, scratching, clawing. That's how important it is. The Calgary Stampeders defensively have softened up. I mean, they were providing pressure. Rick Campbell's guys were dropping off into zones and opening up zones for Henry Burris to methodically move the time here.
2nd and 1. All on the board. Walker in the backfield. Jumbo. And Javon Walker first down and into the end zone. Let's see if they mark him short at the 1. It is a Hamilton first down. 1st and goal at the 1.
Javon Walker's got some confidence for a rookie. Doesn't need to go laterally like this in a snow game to know that he has to turn it up and get that 1 yard, or else they're in a 3rd down situation. He does get the first.
Devontae Bolden beefing up that defensive line. With a shotgun. Walker, touchdown. And the TiCats are within a 2-point convert of a tie. Just into the final minute of regulation time.
Play call crucial. Now most teams have 2-point convert plays that they're saving for just this scenario. See Chris Williams on a crosser. Quarterback draw possibility, or do they run it straight up the middle with Shalon?
They've made it work once. Looking for another. Incomplete. Dave Stowell in the back of the end zone was the intended target. And they're 2 points down with 54 seconds left. And that means they'll have to send out the short kick team.
A little outside move, and if Burris was going to hit that one, he had to do it right when he cleared the first defender. Waiting that long allowed Fred Bennett and Eric Fraser to get involved in really low percentage attempt. When they did get the 2-point convert, it was a little curl route right at the goal line to Andy Fantuz.
So John Hufnagel's option to just kick the single and not try and make it a 9-point game turns out to be a good one. Although there's some armchair guys that'll say, well, if he had to kick the one earlier in the game, he might not have had to make that decision. But
now we're looking at an onside kick attempt, which could get interesting with this kind of footing.
Slippery,
Kanji, yeah.
Slippery pigskin. And,
well, yeah. You know, usually there's 2 schools of thought here to kick it up in the air to the sideline, try to be the last to tip it going out. Jim Daly, a special teams coach, may want to knuckle this along the ground and see what happens in the snow as it spins and bounces. Guys on either side of the formation here.
Lucas sets it up, and Kanji puts it up for grabs, and the TiCats got it. Andrea Jones comes down with it beyond 10 yards. Perfectly executed by the TiCats, and they are still alive. And with the football with 52 seconds left, a field goal to win it.
Well, you know, and here's a nominee for Special Teams Player of the Week, because Andrea Jones has done a nice job all game long in returns and gives the Hamilton Tiger Cats a chance with a tremendous play up over the top of Jawan Simpson, sacrifices himself, his body comes up with it right at the 11-yard mark.
The previous play is under review by the command center.
So they will review to make sure that went 10 yards. And with these conditions, it's a little difficult to see.
Well, the official standing right on the 10-yard mark. He leaves his feet shy of it, but comes down on the other side of it. I think that's gonna stand. I mean, on Ray Jones, I believe he left to jump on the Hamilton side of the 10-yard mark. But when he caught the ball, it was in the air, came down on the other side. How about the kick from Luka Kanji? Is he having a year?
That was an interesting stance for Kanji. You wonder if this will be part of the review process. Can the kicker be offside?
Looks like he's right along the ball there.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's first down, Hamilton.
Everything's okay. And if you're a TiCat fan, everybody's on the edge of their seat right now.
What a precise kick by Luka Kanji. Right on the 10-yard marker, and Ray Jones gives the TiCats one more opportunity.
Need to move it 25, but under these conditions, maybe 30 yards to get into field goal range. Henry Burris trying to write the welcome back script, and he's got Chris Williams down the sidelines. He does step out, but already the TiCats are in field goal range.
They are, and now they've got 46 seconds to manage.
40-yard strike, Burris to Williams.
On the outside, short side of the field. One-on-one on Tad Cornegay, in behind. What a throw by Burris, just over the outside shoulder. Managed now.
6th 100-yard game of the season for Chris Williams. 7 catches, 123. And Siobhan Walker shouldn't be running backwards. He gets stopped. And ball security is important now as they try and set this up, kill the clock, and let Luka Kanji be the hero. Remember, the timeout for the Calgary Stampeders has been burned.
Now I'm wondering if normally at this point your team would want to get you in the middle, but with the snow, would Luka Kanji prefer to be on the hash mark where it's a little bit cleaner?
Clock running down. Walker again. Will stutter step, and he gets dragged down inside the 25-yard line.
Gets to the other hash mark. Now they can run the clock down.
So Kanji, who is 2 for 3 on the night.
And Fantus is cleaning the spot for Luka Kanji, the holder.
Yeah, they had to do a little maintenance work. A little cleanup here on a previous field goal. Remember, the one he missed just didn't seem to have the right footing. But that was from further out. Running it down, and from 30 yards out, Luka Kanji looking for a walk-off here, and they botch it. Andy Fantus eats it, and the Stamps are going to win it.
Was low, but Andy Fantus makes this hold in his sleep. And this one slips down. He doesn't get the handle. A little bit low as he has to get down there a little bit to get it. Slips off the back of the tee. It's been that kind of season for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Oh, he just missed the tee. Just slipped off the tee. Off the back.
In a season where so much has gone wrong for the TiCats, You have to work hard to come up with an unlikelier way to lose the game than that. Luka Kanji, who came into the game over 90%. You'd think that was automatic from 30 yards out if they could get it on the tee. Stunning stuff here. And the Calgary Stampeders nailed down second place in the West. And the TiCats' bid for a playoff spot becomes even more precarious. Heartbreaking return for Henry Burris. 34-32, a thriller here in Calgary. SportsCenter is now